Good morning, everyone. So, listen, I just wanted to drop in really quick. I wanted to just talk about a few things. I've been getting a lot of emails lately. Everybody's checking up on me, seeing if I'm okay. So I wanted to come on here really quick first, just say that yes, I am doing really good. My mundane life has been really busy, but there's been a lot of changes in my life recently, and all for the good. I've been really blessed. I've been really happy, and you know, it's it's definitely kept me away a bit. But there is another aspect that I really hadn't talked about, and so I guess I want to come on here because I want to go ahead and start, doing readings again, but I do want to explain why I was a bit gun shy there for a bit. About 3 weeks ago, there was, a lot of drama going on in the community. And mind you, this is a spiritual community. We're all here to help, readers and viewers alike. We're all part of the same community. We're all part of the collective consciousness. And so with all the drama that was going on, it was a bit it was a bit draining, because every time I press my YouTube app, it goes directly to, the page where, has all the recommendations. It shows all the community posts, and it was just like so much vulgarness, so much negativity. And again, especially for someone like me, I'm an empath, and so empaths, they feel, they feel their surroundings, they feel, the people around them, so you pick up on that energy, and if it's so vulgar and negative, it can be a bit draining. And it was astonishing to me how viewers were just so vulgar towards a person they don't even know. And it just had me thinking, like, how can you call yourself divine with a mouth like that, with the stuff that's coming out of your mouth? How can you even think that you're divine? I mean, divinity does not mean that you're a twin. Divinity means that you come from something divine, whether that be God or, the universe, source, whatever it is that your belief system is. It's taking all the good from that higher source and putting it into yourself. Just basic general kindness is a step towards divinity. But it's also, growing and becoming something more, something more sacred within yourself. That's divinity. It has nothing to do with soul connections or, mystical, magical things. It does not. It just has to do with basic kindness, and it evolves from there to where you become a good person, and you have all this love to share and wisdom to share and goodness to share. And it was like every time I'd open up YouTube, it was none of that. It was none of that. And it was really, really disheartening. And like I said, as an empath, you feel that, you feel that energy. Then, to make matters worse, there was some opinions being circulated in the community as well. And the opinions really had to do with readers who do karmic readings. Well, being that I am a 3-party reader and I do read on the karmic, obviously, again, being an empath, I did kind of take heart to, the messages that were being related about that topic, it did kind of get to me a bit. Because what they were saying, there was a lot of truth to it. There was a lot of truth to it, although with everything, I believe there are loopholes to everything. And so I guess that's what I want to talk about really quick. So what was being circulated was that readers who read on the karmic can be detrimental to your journey. So, and the reasoning behind that. So first of all, I feel like detrimental is a bit extensive. Okay, that's number one. The reasoning, however, I can relate to more. The reasoning was that, even if you are a twin, you have to get to a point where you're not concentrating on your DM, you're not concentrating on the karmic. The point is you want to grow, you want to evolve, and you want to be the better version of yourself. And by looking at the negative aspects, like the karmic, it can be hindering to your growth. And I agree with that. So there was truth being spoke. However, the loophole to that is this. Not everyone is at that point yet. Healing, surrendering, and evolving and becoming the best version of yourself takes time. You don't get from point A to point Z, automatically. You have to build up to that. For instance, I will give you an example. If you go back to my earlier videos, you'll see that when I read on the karmic, there were times that maybe I was a bit abrasive towards the karmic. Maybe not the nicest. Because, back then, it was still very fresh for me, having been married, to my DM, and then all of a sudden there's a karmic involved after our separation. Yeah, I was angry. I had a vendetta against the karmic. And so, yeah, when I did my readings, it kind of fell into my readings. The energy fell into my readings, and you can kind of tell. Where now, it's different. I still read on the karmic, but I'm not abrasive anymore. I mean, I relate the messages. I relate, what I'm feeling and seeing, but I don't do it in an abrasive way. Because at the end of the day, the karmic serves their purpose. They are part of your DM's journey for a reason, okay? They're there to teach him some lessons, okay? And these are lessons they may not have learned otherwise. And so because of that, we have to not love the karmic, but we do have to respect that they have a role to play. And I guess that's what, these readers were trying to say in terms of karmic readings, is that, it can be, hindering. I think hindering is a better word than detrimental. Okay. Yeah, it can be hindering, but again, everybody's at a different level. And so sometimes people need to still hear readings about the karmic because it's what's helping them. It's what's helping them to heal. Even though it's not the most positive way to heal, it's not. Watching videos on the karmic, and knowing that the karmic and the DM are not in a good place, and that they're quarreling, and and that there's no real love there. Yeah, sometimes it helps to know that information. Because what it does is it puts the idea in your mind that well, he's not as happy as he thought he would be, and sometimes that helps ease the mind sometimes, and even sometimes it helps ease the heart. But the point is that eventually you do need to get to a point where it no longer matters. And that's why with me, you know, I got to that point. I got to the point where I accepted the fact that, you know, my husband is in a relationship with a karmic, and, and it wasn't serving me. It wasn't serving me well to, concentrate on it, or to dwell on it, or to know what's going on in their connection, or to, look at social media, or to even do readings for myself. I got to the point where this is how I looked at it. If he's happy in that situation, then I need to let him be happy. Because when you love somebody, you want them to be happy, whether that's with you or with somebody else. And even if that person is not good for them, they have to see it for themselves. They have to learn the lessons themselves, and they have to see it themselves. And, you as a divine feminine, or me as a divine feminine, cannot control the outcome, or we cannot control the situation. That's why there's that, that one card in the Romance Angel deck that says, let go of control issues. You have to let go of control issues, and you have to let their connection play itself out. Even if it takes, years, at some point it will play itself out, because a karmic relationship will never last. It won't. It will never last. But it has to play itself out. And as a divine feminine, you just can't control the outcome of when, how, or anything along those lines. And you have to get to a point where you heal yourself and surrender your connection. And that was something that I did. I surrendered the connection. Now, does that mean that I had to stop loving my divine masculine? No. Does that mean that I had to give up completely on the connection? No. What it means is that I had to surrender it to the divine, surrender it to God, and say, this is your will right now, and I no longer have any expectations. I'm going to leave it in your hands. And when you feel like this situation is played out, it's, run its course, and lessons have been learned, then I have no doubt that you will bring my connection back. But in the meantime, I'm going to surrender it to you, divine, you, God. That is what surrendering is. It's not giving up. It's not stop loving. It's just giving up expectations and having faith in your higher source. That's what surrendering is. And that was the point where I got. And, what I want to say is that not everyone is at that point. And you can't force divine feminines to get to that point by going on YouTube and circulating this information everywhere. Or if you're gonna do it, if you are going, if readers are going to do that, if they're going to circulate information like that, I feel like they need to put in some disclaimers and also reveal the loopholes to that. And so that's basically what I'm here to do, right here, right now. Because number one, I'm not going to stop being a third-party reader. I'm not going to stop reading on the karmic. Yes, I do believe what they're saying is true. I believe that you have to get to that point where you no longer care about the karmic, where you no longer care about what's going on in their connection, because you've surrendered it and you're concentrating on you, your evolution, your own personal awareness and growth. And once you get to that point, then of course you don't need to listen to karmic readings. But again, not everybody's at that point, and some people kind of need to hear, They do kind of need to hear these readings. Also, the other, disclaimer and loophole to this is that there are always people who are coming onto the journey brand new. And for those people who are just coming onto the journey, who are just recently going through separation, they've got a long ways to go. And, hearing readings on the karmic, although it may not be the healthiest way to help your healing process, again, it's not the healthiest way, but it is a certain way to do it. Okay? Because again, when you're fresh out of a connection that is a divine connection, that is your twin, and they've gone into a third party situation with a karmic, just sometimes knowing that things are not, rainbows and fluffy clouds, it can be helpful. Again, it's not the most positive way to do it, but it can be helpful, at least until you get to the point where you've evolved enough to know that you don't need that anymore. But in the very beginning, yeah, it kind of helps. Okay, it just does. And I think that's part of, that's part of the conflict that I had with the videos that were being circulated, is that, yeah, they're correct, but it's only really correct for the people who have been on the journey for a while and who should already be at that place where they are evolved enough and they've healed enough, forgiven enough to where they can stand on their own. But again, let's be real. Let's be real here. Even if every divine feminine right now were to be at that level where they are 100% healed and have evolved and living their best life, do you really think that doing readings every single day for the divine feminine is gonna help? I think not. I mean, I think it would get a bit boring to constantly just do readings on healing the divine feminine. I feel like with everything, I always try not to just repeat the same kind of readings over and over again. I like to switch up the topics. I like to switch up the themes, and not just always, like some readers, they will, and I'm not talking about readers, I'm throwing an example out there so you understand what I'm talking about. They'll go onto YouTube and they'll say, what's going on with divine masculine today? Well, they did that yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before. And it's like, man, that it can be, and it's basically the same messages, but the cards are just, it's the same messages, okay? Same message, different day, okay? It's just the deliverance may be different, okay? They may be delivering the message maybe a little different than they did yesterday or the day before. But in general, they're the same message, and reading every single day asking what's going on with divine masculine today. It's like, it's almost stalkerish, I feel. It's a bit, because you asked that yesterday, the day before, and the day before, So it's like, how much can the energy change from yesterday and today? How much can it change? That's just a bit stalkerish. But, people are very successful at doing it, very successful at doing it. But hey, whatever works for them, me personally, I like to switch it up a bit, but again, one of the reasons why I had not been on is because, again, all of that drama, all that negativity was draining. And then when the circulation was hit about readers who, read on the karmic is detrimental to your journey, I'm thinking, wow, I just felt like more should have been added. More should have been added to that. Because although there's truth to it, there's also loopholes to it. And we have to understand that there are new people joining this journey every single day, and they have to start from ground zero. And most of the time, ground zero is watching karmic videos until they can start to feel better in their mind, start to feel better in their heart, and then start to heal and forgive until they're eventually able to surrender. But even then, even for the people who have surrendered and are doing really well, these divine feminines who've evolved and in their power, still, every now and again, hearing a good karmic reading is not bad, It's just not, it's curiosity. We're, at the end of the day, we live in the 3D world, and we're human, and we get curious, and you can't beat people up for that. You can't tell them that their journey is being violated. You can't tell them that because they're curious. We're human, and that's just the way that it is, and so anyways, again, as an empath, I saw that what was being circulated, and I started thinking to myself, I didn't doubt myself, but I was thinking, the last thing that I want to do is hurt anybody's journey. I want to bring awareness. I want to bring healing. I want to help, the people who are hurting. That's why I'm a 3-party reader, because I know what it's like to be in that situation. I know the hurt and pain that comes with it. And I just felt like, people being aware that things are not always, wonderful in a karmic relationship. Just because you and your counterpart are not together does not by no means mean that your counterpart is just living life to the fullest, happily ever after with the karmic. And so that's why I'm a 3rd-party reader, because I know the other side. I know that when you're in a karmic when you're in a karmic relationship, it's karmic, and it will eventually play itself out, because it's not going to be happy, because it's not meant to be. And so, anyways, that's just how I feel about it. There's 2 sides of the coin here, but that was one of the reasons why I just was like, hadn't done any readings, because I didn't want to be hurting anybody's journey. All I want to do is bring awareness and help. But I'm not going to stop doing the readings. What I needed was a cooling off period. I needed a cooling off period to where I felt comfortable enough to say, I understand that there's truth to what was being circulated, but at the same time, there are loopholes to every situation, and everybody is different, and how a person chooses to do their healing is up to that person. It's not up to what me as a reader has to say, or any other reader has to say. You can only do so many readings on the divine feminine to help her heal, before it does get boring. I feel like this journey is a complex one. It's not always fun. There is going to be hurt, but it is a rewarding journey, to love somebody unconditionally, regardless of what's going on. It's a beautiful thing. And so, You know, we have to respect everybody and how they choose to heal. So that's really all I wanted to say. I wanted to let you guys know why I kind of took a cooling off period. You know, because as an empath, you know, yeah, what was being said, what was being circulated, the negativity, you know, it all was, it was like a bomb that went off, you know, and so, you know, just had to do some cooling off and wanted to address that, you know, everybody's on a different level. And we all have to choose our healing at our own time. And we all have to heal our own way. So, I will be back. I will still continue to do karmic readings. But it's up to you to decide. It's up to you to decide if you have evolved enough to not want to watch a karmic reading or not. If you still feel like it helps you to heal, then do it, and don't let other people tell you you're wrong. If you have evolved and you don't need it, I'll be doing other readings too. It won't be just on the karmic. And as always, if you have a certain topic that you would like, leave it, you know. I do community posts and I'll ask you guys, you know, what do y'all want to see, you know. This channel may be mine, but it's yours as well. And so I'm here to serve you to the best of my ability. And if you have suggestions, then let me know, because as I always say, if you have questions, I have answers. You have questions, I'm going to do my best to give you the answers. So I love you all, and I hope that you get some knowledge from this video. And I will see you again soon. Bye.